Robin Trower would be proud of the Caravan at Midnight. Name of this one. Occurred back in 1997, I think. 97? Best I can recall, 97. I'm trying to remember if this is the first time the crew, or I, was in a crew that went on the Caravan. Multiple vehicles. Caravan. It was infamous. This guy, the boss, and his Caravan crew. Okay, so I hope I went the right way. This was a big problem with that. Okay, we left from LA. No sense in being specific about where exactly. There it is. And we were bound for Seattle, Washington. And this is what was kind of goofy. I had to drive from Ventura to the boss's house in the Toyota van, and it kept getting later and later. I got there, and they introduced me to some guy that was going to be my passenger, and sent us to the Arco to fill up the tank. So, gave us the money, and we went and filled up the tank and came back, and there's just delay after delay. And that's why it was around midnight. We didn't leave until around midnight, which is very stupid, I think. One thing, it's like people could fall asleep and wreck. So, but that's what we did. And my passenger was a doper. This guy was really messed up. Unfortunately, you're either gonna drink. I shouldn't have, but I mixed some whiskey with some Coke. You want to make sure it's mostly Coke, though. They certainly don't want a DUI. But you could. I don't know that I guess he was expecting us to drink a bunch of coffee. You have to make stops and get more coffee. I don't know. But what we did, and that was another big no-no, was I snorted up some speed that he had. And this guy was a real yo-yo. He somehow wound up in the back of the van and would crawl up to where the stick shift was and push it out of drive into neutral. He did this several times. I had to keep telling him to stop. But we plugged along, and I think there was at least two vehicles, and maybe a third one. That Caravan was known to have several, 4 or 5. How many people were in that original Caravan? I know there was the boss and another guy, and us two, and they had more with them. I can't remember who they were. Of course, this lady was one of them. And then we were all friends, but like, see, my passenger and I got up to around, it's that town that starts with in Medford, Oregon. We stopped, and he was trying to find dope. I think we went to a strip club, and somehow we got split up. I couldn't find him. So I left him. But before that happened, it's kind of funny, something that happened. We just somehow wound up turning off the freeway and saw some guy walking along the road, and he's trying to get him, ask him if he knew where his whatever speed was, and then he just handed, hey, you want a Coke? And he handed him. That young man must have freaked out, thinking we were a couple of nuts. So we then, like I say, I left him and I went on up, and we lost contact. Somehow we're supposed to call. This was before there was cell phones, everywhere. I don't know how we were supposed to contact each other, and I went on ahead and made it to the destination, and now I just needed to find where their hotel was. And the way I did it was I parked Toyota van. I'd been sleeping in it, and I parked it next to a phone booth. Which was next to a gas station. They didn't care. In fact, they were friendly. One of those ones, what do they call it? BP. It's a little gas station in a residential neighborhood, it seemed like. And so I would sit there drinking some beer, or if it was the morning, it was coffee. But I had called, and whatever contact number I had of the boss or somebody, and said, call me back at this number, which was on that phone booth's number. It took a day or two, but it finally rang, and I got it. And I wrote down where the hotel was to meet up, so I had to get to work. And so, so we finally hooked up, and the guy I left had called up the boss to wire the bus fare or whatever, and I was just off to a rocky start, because nobody's making any money, at least me and that guy weren't, but they put us right to work. And then the hotel, see, I didn't even pay for a room. Those two friends, the man and lady, older folks, had a room, and I'd come up and take a shower and hang out, drink some beer, eat something, hang out with them and talk at night, and then I'd go sleep in the van in the parking lot. There was a guy that was some kind of maintenance man, and he just said to me, apologized for waking me up one morning. It was so nice. And then the couple that ran it, and we'd go get coffee. I eventually moved into that room and slept on their floor, so it was all getting good cheap rent. They didn't care. And but the coffee, we kept complaining about it. You know, they give us this coffee, but it tastes like tea. And we didn't know why, but I found out later what it was just watered down. It was like half the amount you're supposed to use. That's how cheap they were when it comes to coffee. I wonder if that place is there anymore. I think it was called Knights Inn on Aurora Parkway. Same name as the 99 freeway, they call it. So that was the Caravan, a screwed up. The guy was at least once very smart. He's known as a maverick boss. But he would get us the good deals. We'd make money. We'd make that money. So then all kinds of things started happening. Some people didn't like him. I don't know what the story is. I wasn't there. Who ripped off who? But there was a competing crew. Also, I think was from LA, and they one of them kept ordering pizzas and having it sent to his room as a joke. And that went on a while, and then so what people did, they came up on their own. There was a couple from Riverside County came up, and I had my guitar in the room, and then this really beautiful woman said, "Oh, so and so plays guitar." And they struck me as a nice Republican couple. I thought they were married, the two of them. So yeah, they had come up, and no, they were just boyfriend and girlfriend. She was one of these girls that she had a daughter, but she's one of these strange girls that tease you, that don't want to do anything romantic with you, just wants to tease you. I learned that about her, and we became friends. It was kind of something else that had happened was I got a bad case of gout, and I thought it was poison ivy, and but it was gout, and nobody knew it. I was treating it with poison ivy medicine, Lotrimin, or whatever that is, and I couldn't walk. I called up somebody. It may have been Salvation Army or some or the like. We found in the phone book they gave me a wheelchair, or loaned me one. And I would take that and hobble my way to the back and get it out and work in the wheelchair. And so, yeah. And she wound up pushing me, because what happened is they broke up. She started hanging out with these younger guys, and he was so jealous. And then there was another guy that joined the crew. Oh, okay, now I remember him, a younger guy that came on the original Caravan, was probably in the other vehicle or two. And he took her away from him, but he was going to find out about her. And they got into a fight. I mean, we could hear the commotion in the other room. Then in the room next door, people up against the wall. It wasn't a real bad one, but then they were always at each other's throat. throats, and I didn't like the guy that was just somebody trying to be slick. Thought he was Don Juan. The other guy seemed nice, seemed like such a nice couple. I felt sorry for him. We'd hang out in his truck. They came up in his truck and would sit and talk about girls and say, yeah, I know what it's like and this and that. But since they had broken up, there's more and more people joining the crew, I guess, and she was rooming with somebody else and going with somebody. But you know what I mean, she wouldn't do much of anything. Just tease you. Strange personality. Anyway, she would push me in the wheelchair. We'd go eat lunch together, and one time she went to use the restroom. I ordered for us, and she told me what she wanted, and I got like all this extra mayonnaise and put it on her hand. But yeah, we would do good. And so we made ends meet. Then there was another. And so yeah, this is how it went down. Now we got our own contract. We went around the boss so we could make more money. And I drove me and Don Juan to make the deal, and we were like, he's trying to take credit, so I'm the one that found it. Well, we all found it at the same time, but I was the one with the wheels, so all he did was tag along. But he's just one of those had that ego thing, and he's trying to pretend to be the big hero, and he wasn't. But one time he had some equipment that he failed to secure on top of my van, and it blew off, and all these trucks ran over it and destroyed his equipment on the freeway. So I told the guy, the man who had lost his woman, that cheered him up when I might have even had a picture of it. That cheered him up. So anyway, that guy went home, and she went. I think he agreed to take her home. They left. Then